Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel here on Global Conquerors, a weekly podcast, Conquest. This is the first episode of the new year, being recorded on January 11th, 2025. So, Happy New Year. It's your host, SMGFrenzy, joined with your co-host.
It's AssassinADC. Back with another, a chapter of another chapter in our journey, start of the new year. Yeah, we obviously got a good amount of stuff to talk about. We've been off for pretty much a month. Um, so yeah, pretty excited to talk about some of these topics, and I don't know, it's a lot of stuff to talk about. Gotta catch up on that. So
Yeah, we've got a lot of things that came out late last year, a lot of news the past 2 weeks. This might be a lengthy one, this might not be, depending on how fast we go through it, but yeah.
okay.
But I guess, yeah, we'll start off with the esports and gaming section, which is the heftiest chunk. We'll start off with the Overwatch Championship Series, which is starting back up again relatively soon. They were going through their partnership period of trying to see what teams want to come and partner and whatnot. A lot of old, Overwatch League teams weren't official partners, and a lot of them tried to apply to get in. Some of them that were already in were teams like the Toronto Defiant. But the San Francisco Shock, the back-to-back Overwatch League champions owned by NRG, applied, and people would assume that they would be easily accepted to the partnership program. But for some reason, the OWCS has rejected them, not giving much statement. We only heard from the Shock side that they were just surprised that they weren't even accepted, and because of that, they will be exiting the Overwatch scene, which I think is a reasonable take. And I'm not sure what Overwatch is thinking on this part. Rumors were that potentially Overwatch is trying to kind of reset their scene to have smaller teams come in so that the money flowing in the scene, especially concerning player purchases and whatnot, the contract fees aren't too high since it's technically a new league only going into its second year. But it's still a surprise, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think the Shock got cheated out. But what do you think?
Uh, Definitely, most definitely got cheated out of a spot of a partnership. I don't know why. I mean, I would assume they would have gotten. I mean, I would assume that they would have immediately got one, even if they didn't apply. They were like, "Yo, you have a partnership ownership with us. It's up to you if you want to take it or leave it." So
Yeah.
it's pretty weird that they even had to offer to even apply for this when they're like probably the most successful team in their league. Um, it comes to a shock to a lot of people and
So
stuff like
it comes
that.
to a
So
what? It comes to a what? I see what we're saying.
I wasn't trying to do it on purpose.
Uh-huh. Yeah, as Angel
Uh,
said, it's a massive shock to all of us. I did that one on purpose, but
I
go on.
didn't mean to do it on purpose. Yes. Yeah, because they're the most successful Overwatch team in their franchise history in a way. So
Mhm.
it sucks that they weren't even they were rejected. More so, they even had to even apply for it. So
Yeah, exactly.
it comes to a very very surprising. 'Cause I'm not gonna say the word surprising, not as
Yeah.
so. It sucks because that's a big organization and a bunch of fans. Um, Pretty much leaving that scene, and Overwatch is not that big.
Not anymore,
Um,
yeah.
so with the Shock leaving, um, it really does. It's really a bummer to you know
Yeah.
the esports side because it's the Shock have been a really big part of the start of the growth of Overwatch. So it sucks to see them leave because they were rejected, which they have every right to.
Yeah.
I mean, sucks to suck. I can't really.
It's unfortunate, but not much we can really say more so on that. But yeah, that's it with the Overwatch side. We hop over to the League side, which is very hefty. There's one thing I accidentally left off, so we'll start with that first. The LCK had its season opening tournament already occur in the past week, where they have the top players from each lane form a team. So they're like a team bot lane, a team mid lane, a team jungle, a team support, and they all play against each other in a best of three or best of one, and then they crown a champion. And this year's team mid lane was a little overpowered because you had people like Faker and Showmaker and Chovy all together on the same team, and I just wonder which team won the championship for that this year. Of course, it was team mid lane because no one could stop them. That's just all like all-star players together. And mid is like the most versatile role in League, so it kind of makes sense. But Faker's already got a trophy this year.
This year, like 2025 year.
Yeah, like this happened yesterday.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
mastered his craft.
I
But
guess.
continue on. We have PSG Talon, one of the top teams from LC, the League Championship Pacific, has terminated their partnership with Paris Saint Germain, so now they're just back to Talon Esports. I think they were together for almost a decade now in like League and in Dota and some other games. But both teams have parted ways, mutually agreed, and they did say that they were open to partnering up again. Because people, I feel like, when you see Talon, you're used to seeing PSG in front of them, and they always would make memes about like PSG players subbing in on their roster for like League or Dota and stuff. But yeah, their partnership has ended. I'm not sure what it means for the esports ecosystem there, because Talon, PSG Talon was the biggest team there. Now it's just Talon. I'm sure they still have plenty of sponsors and funding and stuff, but just a change.
Hmm.
Yep. And then we go on to, I'll just do the league stuff first. I'm going to skip over the phase. The League of Legends announced their season for this year. This year's theme is Noxus, which is the you don't watch Arcane or know much about League, but Noxus is one of the countries in League, and they're like a very like warrior type culture. The best way I can explain it to you is like they're kind of like the Mandalorians, where they like live with weapons and fight each other for almost anything. Like the strongest man survives, whatnot. So a lot of like black and red clothing and just swords and beefy men and women who just slam on each other and kill each other for anything. But yeah, that's
Bro,
the what
what you're describing is wrestling at that point.
basically yeah. The Noxians would be pretty metal wrestlers, is I think what I would say. But there's a cinematic that came out last week. I highly recommend you watch it. It is 5 minutes, but it's some of the best media out there. But yeah, there's like a new map for League this year, which is the first time we've gotten one for the main map in a while. New like character abilities, new characters of champions being added, of course. League does what they need to do to keep their game alive each year, and the base is very excited. And with that comes off obviously the updates to the esports ecosystem, and we got the announcement for where the international events for the next 2 years will be taking place. So for 2026, the first stand event will be taking place in Brazil, which counts as the Americas. We have MSI taking place in Korea, which counts for the Asian region, and then we have Worlds taking place in North America. Where in North America? We don't know. I hope that, maybe they saw the success of how State Farm in Atlanta was sold out, and maybe they decided to bring it back here. Would be
And
nice.
they better make the fucking final here, because the one in San Francisco was mid as shit.
Yeah, it was also a smaller arena. There were more people at the semis than there were at the finals. So, hey, Riot, you saw Atlanta can sell out for 2 days, so and the finals is one day. You might as well do it here. But then in 2027, all the events are overseas. First stand will be in Southeast Asia. They didn't specify where specifically. Usually they choose somewhere like Vietnam, so that's most likely where it will be. MSI will be in Europe. Since Worlds it was recently like in France and Germany, they might choose, and the UK, they might choose another European company. They might choose like Spain or Portugal, Norway, Denmark, whatnot. We don't know just yet. And then Worlds will be in Korea again. So, and I think the main thing is that Worlds will be rotating between the big three regions: the Americas, Europe, and Asia. And that's basically just North America, basically the United States and Canada.
Wait, so World's location for 2026, would that be considered for this season or next season?
Next season, because Worlds this
It's
year
gonna be in China,
is
no?
in China, correct?
Yeah, because
And
you were talking about I would have to wake up at 3 in the morning to watch matches.
Yeah.
Just for watching my team win and lose and all this and that.
Yeah, because first stand this year is in Korea. MSI is in Toronto, so North America. No, Toronto, North America. Because okay,
I know.
if you look at the list, you can see
Wait, this year? Wait, what's in Toronto?
mid-season invitational MSI.
If I'm gonna go to Canada, because I told myself I'm planning to go to Canada, it might be for this.
You might as well. It'd be fun.
Why not, bro? I've been wanting to go to Canadian land.
I would say it'd be worth it. You'd already be in Toronto, and then you can watch Faker play again.
Want you want to go?
I'll probably be in Japan during when this happens, so I'll be
Lame.
far away, unfortunately. But if you
Maybe.
pay attention, whoever hosts his first stand this year ends up hosting MSI next year and Worlds the year after that. So Korea's hosting first stand this year, they're hosting MSI next year, and they're hosting Worlds in 2027.
Which
North
means anyway host
since NA's
first stand
hosting
in 2028.
presumably, yeah. Because NA's hosting MSI this year, which is why we're hosting Worlds next year. And they just have now an easy rotation system, which is really nice. But yeah, that's the news on that. And for League, I don't really have anything else to add on that, do you?
We know I don't. I
Nope.
haven't been keeping up with the news. I've been away from esports, away from outlets, everything. I've been trying to. We're all been trying to recover from the holidays and personal stuff. So,
Yep. Oh,
um,
move on from
excited.
League.
Uh, what's there to talk about?
Well, there's no more League. We go on to Halo, where we have some roster
What about,
announcement and some
you're gonna you're gonna
bans.
you're gonna wait for the phase thing? You're gonna have to do that later.
Which phase thing?
The
Oh,
phase
the logo.
redesign.
Oh yeah, I guess we can do that first then. So Phase
Guys,
Clan, look at my hands, redesigned their logo recently. It's basically the same thing, but as Angel described it to me, it's like somebody learned how to use the curve tool in Photoshop and like rounded edges essentially, so it's no longer a
and
sharp
with the dots.
phase logo. Now it looks like how when you say do face up with your hands, the way that your hands naturally curve, that's kind of it now. Why did they do this? I
It
don't
looks.
know.
If you look at it, like the color aspect and everything, it looks very corporal, which is kind of dumb, but I don't like it. Um, I don't know what their thought process was.
Neither do I.
They didn't.
It's
They didn't really need a new brand, a rebrand. I mean, what they had was already working and good, and I don't know.
luckily it's so minor that like from a distance you can't really tell. But like it's still like an unnecessary change versus the other team that had a rebrand recently, Complexity, which went back to.
No, wait. That's not.
That's what I said. Rebrand,
That's great.
rebrand.
That's a great rebrand
Yeah,
or
Complexity no
re
longer looks
back
like.
or reverted.
Yeah, is it because
Go ahead, sorry.
their football team's doing pretty bad? They're no longer owned by them anymore. But
But
like
no,
that's
that's
probably
why they
why.
changed it.
Yeah.
But go ahead, say what you got to say about the complexity logo.
So, as Angel said, Complexity went back to their old logo temporarily. They said that they will now be modernizing the old logo. What does that mean? Nobody knows. Because apparently FaZe Clan modernized their old logo, and somehow it got worse. It's minor, but it got worse. So,
Nah,
Complexity changing theirs, we don't know. Because they did go from theirs to like basically copying the football team that they're owned by and now going back to theirs temporarily in the meantime. So, what will happen? We don't know. We legit don't know. I think they should just keep their old logo. Probably. That makes the most sense.
yeah. Sorry. Uh, I mean, I like their old logo. I don't see the point of like changing it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't
uh,
know.
they gotta do what they gotta do. But speaking of complexity, this could lead us into our next topic.
Going to Halo.
Halo. Complexity. Obviously, only 3 teams have announced their rosters, but Marker didn't put the other team on there. But obviously, Complexity is in Halo, so they're in, and they announced their roster today, which consists of Spartan, the return of the hype, uh, controversial guy, but he's a good. Us, uh, Breaking Shot, and
Precision.
Precision?
Yeah.
Why'd you spell it like that?
That's how its username is spelled.
Anyways, yeah. So that's their team.
Yeah.
Going into the up and coming, and yeah. I mean, it looks
Solid
like a. I
top
mean, it's
four.
not. I mean, not bad. Surprised Spartan even got up onto a team this high. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a bad player, but obviously I wasn't expecting people to take a chance on him. But obviously people believe that he didn't deserve the big the long year ban. So
Hmm.
I mean, it's good that he got back to a top, I guess, a top team because there's no. I mean, as of right now, there's only 3 teams announced. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised you didn't have Shopify on this list.
I didn't see their announcement. It completely.
They had it Frosty and Royal too,
It completely
and
slipped by me. You talk about the Shopify announcement because I don't know who exactly is on the roster.
I gotta remember who they kept.
Let's
Oh,
see who finds it first then.
probably gonna be
Shopify Rebellion. Scroll, scroll, scroll. When did they announce this?
a long time ago.
This must have been during the break then.
It was before New Year's.
Okay, so Shopify has Frosty, Last Shot, Sickle, and Royal 2 with coach Nick Bestman. That's a good. That's not even good. That's a great roster. Mostly Last Shot and Sickle have proven themselves. Royal 2 and Frosty are veterans.
Wasn't who was this the same team that was on like those two players on the team last year?
Yeah, Sickle and the other one were on the team last year.
They got rid of Mentals and Mr. Souls Knight
Yeah.
and then their coach. Has he been the coach the whole time, or has he joined
Bestman, I
them?
believe so.
Has
Yeah.
always been their coach, yeah.
Yeah. He's always been there. He's been there. Which is, I guess, it's the surprising part where you don't have Royal 2 and Royal 1 together. It really is the end of the Optic CLG Talks dynasty because they all have not gone separate ways.
Yeah, and I think I know he might go. Um, but I'm not 100%. No, actually, I don't think so. I don't think. Okay, so if the rumors are right,
Mm-hmm.
with with Space Station's roster, which is supposed to be um Snakebite. What's his name? He played on Optic. He's hella good. Lucid.
Okay.
Um, Stellar and Eco.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Remember, that's the leaked roster for
That's
them.
that's a good team. That's a good team.
It's still a good team. So, that team, I don't. I mean, they have a coach, but I don't know if they're planning to make an upgrade to coach.
Hmm.
Um, so Royal One just announced on Twitter that he's a free agent looking for a team. So,
Fun.
um, weird because I thought he would have joined Optic. Um, but I mean, looks like Optic already have their coach, but I don't really like their coach which that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll get into it in a second. So
Before we talk about Optic, do we know where Lunchbox is going?
he might be coaching that team that Trippy's teaming with, right? Remember Trippy's?
True. Yeah. There's a team that doesn't have an org, and that's the his.
Yeah, he's.
Which is kind of ridiculous because those are good players, and if they have Lunchbox, you have the consistent year-long #2 coach of the year.
Look, they're suppressed. Suppressed went to. So it's Penguin, Trippy, Suppressed, and Falcated, which I think is a good team
Yeah.
still. So I wouldn't be. I think that's a good team.
Yeah.
So I know they're gonna get picked up eventually by a team. They just, I don't know. They have a good team right there.
For sure. Yeah.
Um, Coach, maybe they pick up Royal One. They seem like they don't have a coach at the moment. Um, I don't know. But speaking of it, since I talked about that Space Station roster, You're probably wondering where the fuck Bound and Legend went. Well, and we're having a Faze. Faze don't have a roster. They quad wiped everybody. So Optic, we all kind of knew this roster was happening. It was just waiting to be confirmed, but it looks more. It still shocks me because it's now that the roster's like formed, it looks weird.
Mm.
Because okay, so formal Renegade, Bound, and Legend. I mean, what a roster! No, you can't tell me that's not like
It's a weird team to look at on paper, but it's what Formal said he wanted because he was like, if I don't get this, I'm done. So clearly he has trust in these three players to apparently win every event and the world championship. They should, by his metric, be the best,
they.
undisputed best Halo
I
team.
I believe that they're the best undisputed team.
Okay.
All right, come on. Do you really think the only? I'm like, be honest, bro. Watching Bound and Legend play on SSG last year, they pretty much single-handedly won them games.
Mm-hmm.
Plus Stellar. Stellar obviously is a great player. He could have his takeover times. When he starts slow, he'll never stay slow. He just needs a good amount of kills and he'll turn up.
Yep.
That's why he's a good ass player. And you know, so to think, this team is, it's still weird to see that, more the one that I see the most like weird joining Optic was Renegade.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just, you never in my, people's lives would have thought Renegade would have joined Optic.
No, not at all.
I mean, he was on Phase. He goes from Phase to Optic. Think about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bound and Legend have talked about they've been since kids they've been wanting Optic is the team, and they talked about it in their podcast. On the podcast, but when they announced it, they look they talked about okay. What Legend said is that his concern was how they had a dominant year last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's worried that they run it back with the same roster and they go through a whole bad slump.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want that. And obviously he knew having an opportunity to play on Optic, he couldn't pass up. He admitted it to he couldn't pass up. Bound admitted to it too. They said that playing for Optic is an opportunity that you can't pass up
Mm-hmm.
because Optic is the pinnacle of like content esport. That's how you grow your brand more.
Yeah.
You help Optic grow their brand, but they help you grow your person, and that's what causes people to go look at them.
Yeah.
So they talked about it like it's just an opportunity they couldn't pass up. It makes sense. I mean, and it's not like they're just going and they're having this team is not bad. At no point, like no way, this team that they have is like they didn't leave just to go leave on a bad team. They
Yeah.
joined a team that's gonna compete still. So, um, yeah, I mean they said that, and obviously they're just excited to play for Optic, and then obviously Form was ready. He feels rejuvenated because he got the roster he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still weird to adjust to this roster since the core three of Formal, Trippy, and Lucid was a thing. Now they're gone, but
Yeah.
that's what happens in the world of esports. So
I mean,
yeah,
I think it's I fear that this roster will run into the same second place issue. I think they will win. I think they will win events, but I don't think they're going to win every event. And I fear that their overconfidence, or like Renegade said, trying to make sure that he doesn't stay on his team that slumps in the next year by staying on the same roster, might be a double-edged sword, because that will also refresh Space Station. And like with Face splitting now, you're refreshing other teams like Shopify and Complexity and whatnot. I feel like with all these teams splitting, there are even more competitive teams now, because all the top players are now like fragmented onto a bunch of teams that were already good, making them better.
well, let's just say if the Shopify roster is what, the Space Station roster is confirmed. That's the only two teams I see competing next year against each other.
I think Shopify is
Last year
competitive.
was 4, or Shopify 2. It just we know what World 2 and Frosty could do. So how can those two other players be able to keep up with those caliber of players,
Hmm.
especially what they're capable of doing? So, we'll see. I mean, it's too early to judge, but as of right now, the best team is Optic, and obviously Shopify's up there. Complexity, maybe. As of right now, like I'm talking about, like the teams announced. So the Trippy team, I think it's the third best roster because I really don't think that Complexity team is. I think they're not that amazing. They're not out of this world. Like I don't expect them to be terrible,
Uh,
but I don't expect them to be great.
I just think personally that the HCS is more competitive now this season, and all respect to Formal, like for real, I just I think Optic is still top two best team. They will have times where they will be top one best team, but I don't think they will consistently be top two best team. I think
Yeah,
there's
well,
too many.
no, I agree with you. Like I agree that they're not gonna be the number one team all year.
Yeah,
I mean, they could prove us wrong. They might, whether they do end up winning everything. You can't really say much, right?
there's that, but like there's a concern, right? Because the concern is that usually teams try to build around by having like an IGL, having your main slayer, having your support and stuff. This team is all main slayers. Where is your
No,
IGL and
no,
support? No, 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 no.
no,
Everyone on this team is main slayer.
no. People were talking about it, but Bound doesn't really play aggressive.
Sure.
Legend is, dude. They were talking about it. They talked about it in the podcast. You got to go back and watch the podcast.
Okay.
They they say formal, like they think Legend Bound don't are not as aggressive. The more aggressive one is Renegade out of the four, and obviously their IGL's formal.
Mm-hmm.
Who else but formal?
All right. We'll see, man. We'll get an event soon. See how they
When,
perform. I don't know in the next
bro, formal needs to get off
3
playing
months.
Marvel Rivals, bro. I'm pretty sure once he hits, uh, whatever that the rankings are in Marvel
Rivals, I
Rivals,
could not tell you,
which
man.
we should talk about too. But
Yeah, we'll
since
get
we're
there.
still talking about Halo,
Yeah, we Angel brought up about a controversial player getting a 1 year ban. What about a controversial player getting a 100-year ban? Monster got hit with a very fat ban, 100 years for cheating. Um, apparently like aim botting and all sorts of stuff over the past 2-3 years. And HCS and like the Halo officials were like, yeah, no more, you're gone. No appeal, no nothing.
he
You
was going off on these online tournaments only.
Yeah, and apparently he wasn't playing it fair either. So
Didn't
it's
he play it on Complexity as a pro at one point?
yeah, he was a team on he was a player in Complexity. He was a player on not Shopify on Space Station at one point. Like he's been on some of the top teams in Halo.
But he's not good. And then surprisingly, when he does online tournaments, he's godlike. No,
Exactly. He was decent against pros, but online he was amazing. And like people, I guess from him streaming, people could figure out the way something's wrong with the way he's aiming and all that stuff. And HCS and the Halo officials like, yeah, you're gone forever. You're never being in this scene again. And he
I
tried to
heard it
release a
was.
statement, but like no
I,
one cared.
I was hearing he's supposed to join Native,
Oh, that's not
but because
happening.
of the ban,
Yeah,
so
they've got to
yeah.
scramble to find someone else now.
Well, I don't even know who the roster is. The only person on, I think it's APG, right?
Probably, yeah, makes
I
sense.
don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, imagine getting hit with a 100-year ban in Halo
I
of
thought
all
I
games.
thought they did it by accident, but then I was like going through my feed. Fucking Bound posted it on his fucking Twitter saying like this guy's cheating
Yeah,
blatantly. And I'm like, damn. So
hey, don't cheat, man. You can ruin your whole career like that. But yeah, I think that's it for Halo. We'll do Marvel Rivals real quick. We talked about it a little bit before we went on break, but it is one of the biggest Overwatch style shooters right now. In fact, bigger than Overwatch right now. I think 500,000 players on Steam at the moment, and a bunch of others on other consoles. So it has been rocking. It has been rolling. They have been adding new Marvel characters like every few weeks.
Fantastic Four. They just added the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, like it is a
Are they
fun.
even licensed by Marvel? No,
Yeah,
right?
that's yeah,
Oh, they
yeah
are.
they are. That's the
I was
only
about
way
to
they're
say
able to
like
have Marvel stuff.
I was about to say like there's no way they're not like people were talking about they're not
No, they are.
licensed by Marvel. I'm like, I don't think that way because they have the characters, they have an abilities,
No, it's licensed by
and
Marvel officially.
you know Marvel Rivals is taking opportunity or like an advantage of what most games should do when they first release. Is just feed it, shove it down people's faces with new stuff.
Yeah, they've
I
been
was
in the
hearing that
news every week.
they fixed their bugs quick.
Yeah,
They take care of the game properly. So for a studio that isn't big and well known, they are doing something right.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, a bunch of people have been playing it. A lot of people that I know play. I played it a little bit. It was getting waxed, but I was having a good time on it.
Uh,
Yeah, this game's taking over, and I mean, I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. I see an esports scene coming for it in maybe in a couple months.
maybe yeah.
Especially since they're going to be adding characters, and since Marvel has a third amount of characters in their universe. Um, yeah, there's going to be a lot. So thinking that the Fantastic Four is coming out, well, it already came out, but
Yeah,
think about that. That's only the Fantastic Four. There's still the X-Men. I mean, there's a lot of characters they could go through. They won't even make a dent for how even they probably won't go through a lot of characters within the first year. There's no way.
I think a lot of
Marvel
people were asking them to add villains because there haven't been even any yet. So that's a whole other roster right there. Like this
Venom?
game will have well, Venom is a villain, depending on who you ask. But like
I guess.
they've got so many, like you said, so many characters and MCU superheroes, villains, anti-heroes, vigilantes that they can just add. That not just MCU, just Marvel in general, because most of them are pulled like comic book variants and whatnot. So they'll have content for years as long as they keep the pace they're doing while having like a $10 battle pass that has all good skins, having like free content forever. The game being free, being able to run on most devices, adding characters that people want, having it balanced and patched really quickly, good maps, good game modes, they'll be good. And they're doing what Overwatch had and then kind of just let go when Overwatch 2 came out. So, props to Marvel Rivals for filling in a space in the scene that was previously filled by Overwatch.
Yeah. Sorry. If you're wondering why I'm looking over so much, the CDL minor is going on as we speak. Well, since we're not recording the podcast tomorrow, well, our usual time, we won't know the winner of this yet until, well, obviously later. But
Optic almost lost today.
yeah,
So,
but boss is pretty good. Yeah. So the minor is just a mini online tournament before it's a single limb, this and that. So,
yep.
um, I mean, I could talk about it quick before. Because that's the last thing to talk about. Oh no, there's still that.
Got Assassin's Creed Shadows, which got delayed. It was supposed to come out relatively soon, but they pushed it back to March 20th. So
Oh,
Ubisoft is trying to make sure this game works when it comes out, which is why they kept delaying it. But that's really
I,
all we have to say about that.
I mean, I'd rather have that than have the game be absolute shit
Yeah,
off rip. So yeah. So you know, it's gonna be good. If they're really delaying it a lot, not because they're scared or like this and that. They just want to make sure the game works off rip.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So CDL minor. I'm gonna be quick about it. All 12 teams. This doesn't affect their seeding for the first major. This affects their overall for champs toward the end.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Um, only the only the first place gets prize money, and points are on the line, so points do matter for some teams. Um, the teams, the top, I think, London or the Royal Ravens, sorry, Carolina Royal Ravens,
Mm-hmm.
Boston Breach, LA Thieves, and Ultra had buys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they had buys because they had a good record going into it. Um, Meaning the other teams didn't. So Surge played Cloud9, Optic played Falcons, Heretics played Faze, and Rocker played LA Gentlemates. So
Mm-hmm.
um, C9 3-0 to Surge, Optic 3-0 Falcons, but it was kind of close.
Falcons not
So
bad.
them boys on the Falcons they're getting better. That's what matters. Heretics lost to Phase 3-1, and Rocker lost a reverse swept LAG 3-2. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously today's matches, you know, this match is about to end as we speak. So Phase, but Optic played Boston. They won 3-2.
Yep.
Um, Carolina beat New York 3-2, and Ultra got reverse swept by Rocker, which is surprisingly because Ultra had yet to lose. Staying with Old Thieves, because these are about to lose to Phase.
Yeah. Does that mean we'll get
So
an Optic Phase matchup tomorrow?
no, it won't be. It will
No.
be Optic. Oh, for the final, maybe. Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
But for the bracket, it would. So who what are happening as it's confirmed? Optic are playing Ravens, and then Rocker will play the winner of Phase and Thieves, which most likely will be Phase, unless Thieves reverse sweep, which could happen. But
Gotcha.
yeah, and then from there, obviously the winner will be determined since it's only a 1 game series or a tournament. Just a single limb. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty. I mean, the minors are pretty useless. It's only going to be helpful for the mid pack team trying to make it to the final champs.
Yeah.
Um, so there's going to be three and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
Fun. Fun.
it's gonna help. It's gonna push teams that need it to qualify for champs later. It's gonna be. I think they're gonna be more important. The second and the third one are gonna be the more important ones. So pushing for that last spot at champs. This tournament probably will mean. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's yeah, pretty much that's all I got for my esports portion.
No, same on my
Do
end.
you have anything on?
No, nothing. I think we hop over to general news. We have three things. I only put two. A third one came up in my head in a moment. So we'll first talk about Party City, the well-known store in the United States. People usually flock there during Halloween, trying to get last-minute costumes and props and stuff. Is unfortunately shutting down in the United States. They will be open in Canada still, but all U.S. stores, similar to like how Toys R Us closed all U.S. stores but stayed open in Canada, all U.S. stores will be shutting down sometime this year, which is surprising. I guess Party City's niche in America has been unfortunately kind of taken over by Amazon, and of course stores like Walmart and Target also just having costumes sometimes year round in certain areas. So we kind of, I guess, the need for a unfortunate like the dedicated just costume prop store is kind of fading away because everyone's like, oh, I need like a Jedi costume. I need like a Squid Game costume. Goes on Amazon, orders, gets it in 2 days. So, Red City in the US is going away. But you fellow Canadians up north, you guys still have it. So, cherish it while it's there.
I mean, we kind of. I'm surprised it will last this long.
Mm.
But yeah, pretty much the reason why some of these stuffs are just shutting down is because of Amazon. Amazon has everything you need. Obviously you gotta wait for it to get delivered, but it doesn't take that long.
Yep.
Um, Amazon's really pretty much taking over the game for everything. So I mean, it sucks to see another big corporation company shut down. Luckily, good thing it's still in the Canada, but in the U.S. we'll start seeing them. And what's crazy is I went to Party City for New Year's hats.
Mm.
and I bought a couple. So my best to try to save it, like you know how those people all those stocks were GameStop. I try to
Yeah,
do the same stuff.
it
It
is
sucks,
what it
man, but
is, unfortunately.
we kind of expected it because of Amazon, and it's just Amazon up there. So
Yep. But that is that. Well, over to some media. We had two amazing shows come out in the past month. One's already ended. One is about to end this upcoming week. We'll talk about that one first. Star Wars Skeleton Crew, which is a show that's kind of flown under the radar for a lot of Star Wars fans and people in general, has actually come out to super rave reviews. People are saying it is the second best Star Wars show of all time, right behind Andor, and I easily agree. It is Star Wars, but like you're in a part of the galaxy that you've never been before. There's none of the characters that you know, and nothing. It's just all new cast, all new crew, exploring and interacting with pirates. Imagine if like Pirates of the Caribbean was in space. This is what this show is like, and it is fantastic. So it's not holding back any punches or strings. It's pretty damn good. So if you're not watching Skeleton Crew, do yourself a favor and go watch Skeleton Crew. The other big show, which of course people have been talking about on Netflix's end, is Squid Game season 2, which is I think is an absolutely fantastic second season to Squid Game. It was a little bit shorter than season 1, but of course features some of the returning cast, like the front doorman, the guy in the train station that gets people to sign up, the main character of the show, all that stuff, and some like minor characters that became major characters, like the main character's friend who worked at the company ended up joining the game. Spoilers, my bad. This will not be a spoiler-free review if you're watching this, but
bro, what? You haven't seen Squid Game? Squid Game's been out for like almost a month.
yeah,
Surprised you haven't finished watching. It's only 6 hours of you can 6 hours. You can watch literally. You can watch one episode a day and finish it in a week, or watch me watch all six in a sitting in a day,
yep,
and or yeah.
yeah,
So
you can get through it pretty quickly.
yeah, I think it's freaking amazing. Um, you know, I liked how they play different. Oh shit! I mean, they played different. I'm good to say it, right? They played different stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same, and I like some of the characters. My boy Tens, that's my guy.
Uh-huh.
You don't what? You don't like him? I was
No,
like,
I
no,
love him. It's funny because like I knew of his actor. I've known of him
you as his.
for a
I knew him
long
as.
time ago. I knew him when he went as Top when he was a K-pop star on the team on the music group Big Bang, and
Bang bang bang.
he did references to like the song Bang 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 in Squid Game, which is really funny. And the things that I'm not sure if you know, he got kicked off of Big Bang for drug use, and in Squid Game he's playing a character who is
He's
like
really playing his past self in the show.
yeah.
So I heard he doesn't make music anymore. He's an actor now. I heard.
Yeah.
Um, but I also heard, I don't know if it's BS. I don't think it's BS, but I heard he had no script and it was just off the top of his head.
There's no way. No. There had to be some sort of script.
I don't know, man. It could have been just straight him. You would never know.
It's true.
There is stuff out there saying that he didn't have a script. Obviously, they told him to. I'm guessing they kept telling him like, "Yo, just stay in the same realm and guidelines as the show." But
Uh-huh.
you on your own, bro. And yeah, because half of the stuff he did didn't look like it was from the show, or like he wasn't going off script.
Well, bro was on cloud nine having fun.
Bro, dude, I, dude, well, I'm gonna say it then. I people watched it. Most of the people I know watched it in dub in English,
Which is crazy.
and I watched it in. Obviously, I watch it how it comes. I just read the subtitles, right?
Yeah.
And when I was watching him rap, I'm like, damn. And then I heard it in English. Holy shit, trash.
Oh no.
Dude, have you heard him rap in English?
No, and I don't want to.
Dude, it's so bad.
Because I'm assuming it's
Dude,
just a translation. They don't try to make it rhyme.
no,
Yeah.
they do make it rhyme.
Oh.
But the way that the English dub sounds, it sounds so fake. Go look up a clip right now.
I'm scared. I don't want
Look
to.
up Daniel's English dub. Um, bro, it sounds like the characters are just talking, not even acting, bro. Like the people that dubbed it.
I
Oh, dude, it's so bad.
don't know why you're doing this to me. I don't know why anybody would watch this in English.
Bro, and people were like, bro, how could we sound so much different from what when he was speaking English in the show? I'm like, bro, because that's him speaking English as a fucking Korean,
Yeah.
not the dub version. Stupid.
Red, orange, yellow, green, I'm a legend. Thanos. Sweet ass tracksuit looking tight. Hope I get the
We
green.
got green light.
What the freak?
I like.
Nope, I'm not watching this no more. I'm good.
Well, bro, oh, dude, I was watching my like cousin watch it in English dub.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude, I almost threw up, bro. Dude, they sound fake. They sound so robotic. It sounds like AI.
Yeah. The voices don't fit the characters at all.
But this season one version of Squid Game's English dub sounded so much better. 'Cause I watched it in English in the first time,
Uh,
the first season, and it didn't sound like that. Damn, Netflix, y'all really slacking on y'all English dub people, huh?
I don't know, man. I just think if you're watching like a live action from a foreign country, you should watch it in the original language because like everything's conveyed better because that's the actual actors doing it, you know? Or like if you're watching a show that takes place in Korea, maybe you should watch the show in Korean. If you're watching a show that takes place in Japan, maybe you should watch the show in Japanese. Like I feel like that's how it should be. If you have like issues with like reading subtitles and watching shows at the same time, sure you can watch it in English. That's why it does exist. But if you don't, like I would say definitely watch the show in its native language because like the emotion and acting, you can feel it better in that manner. But besides that, like I was saying, Squid Game season 2, I think absolutely fantastic sequel to Squid Game season 1, and is the setup for the final season, which will be coming out later this year. Apparently, season 2 and 3 were filmed at the same time, which makes sense considering how the cliffhanger happened. I know a lot of people are looking into like the actors' histories because a lot of them were very like robust and eccentric, like the business guy with the card. People looked into him. Apparently, he played like a lot of like K dramas and stuff, where he's like a really nice guy. Versus where in Squid Game, the dude is literally insane. Or like the front doorman, he was featured in a music video with Psy almost like 8 years ago, where he's like just
Diddy?
huh
He's in the music video with P
with
Diddy,
Diddy too. Yeah, there was
and
one with
he
Diddy,
was
one with
the
Psy.
he was the bad guy in Rush Hour 3,
Yeah,
which I didn't know. I just, bro, he looks familiar, but from where? And I just remembered, and then
bro's good at his
yeah,
job.
these characters have been around for a while. It's just their roles that they got in Squid Games is what defined them correctly. Like this is the role that was made for them to play.
Yeah. Even the main character, he had a pretty stellar year last year because he was both the main character for Squid Game and one of the main characters for The Acolyte, which was the Star Wars thing. So he was making money from Netflix and Disney at the same time, having a massive spotlight role where he got to speak in Korean and one where he got to speak in English. So his fan base has just expanded even more. So Squid Game has like launched a lot of people back into relevance or has kickstarted a lot of people's careers and continues to be a highlight of how Korea is kind of taking over media in the West, where both music and their television and movies are like cultural phenomenons. Where people are making Squid Game parodies. You can play like a Squid Game game on Roblox. You can play one on Steam. People dress up as them at cons or conventions for Halloween and stuff. Like this is something that's not going to go away for a long, long time.
Yep, Squid Games is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's sad that they're ending. It's ending, but there are rumors about more spin-off versions coming out.
Interesting.
I heard that there's a US one planned for 2028. It's rumors. It's not 100% confirmed, but
Yeah.
we'll see. But I'm excited because it's supposed to come out. I'm hearing it's coming out in June. So yeah,
We'll see how that goes. A US based Squid Game would be a
the
trip
Hunger
because
Games.
we aren't serious people,
Are
man.
we? Are we? Aren't we? Wouldn't it just be the Hunger Games?
Basically, it'd be so. I'm concerned what a US based Squid Game would be.
So,
But yeah,
um,
we'll see. We'll see. But that's all the news I got for general news. What about you? Nothing.
Raw on Netflix
True. True.
is
True.
the
True. True.
number one thing on Netflix. It overtook Squid Games. Did you know that?
I didn't know that actually. No. Did it start at what? January 6th? Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, WWE had their first Netflix or the new era of WWE was on Netflix, and dude, production was fucking amazing.
Mm.
They have yet to get obviously to the cursing yet because you know they gotta work around it. Um, but yeah, I've been watching a lot of clips and people are still just learning more about the WWE. So
Mm.
Netflix will just help it because they are broadcasting it all over the world instead of just the U.S.
Yeah. I
So it will help
guess
grow their
when
audience.
they're not live anymore, can you watch the old episodes? You can? Okay, nice, nice.
Will you be watching?
I'll tune in every once in a while. I'll see what's
Maybe.
up.
The Rock came John Cena's last year as a wrestler. He's
Hmm.
retiring. I cried when he was giving his speech.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, yeah, I think that's all I got to say. Do you got anything you gotta say?
I don't think there's anything else for me to add, so I think we'll pass it off to you to close us out as usual.
Thank God, because I'm sleepy. Thank you guys for an amazing year. This is to another amazing year on the come up. Yeah, it's first official video of the new year. Thank you guys for the love and support of last year. We're not done. We're not stopping. It's just a start. Um, Still growing. Yeah, but thank you guys for the people that have been here through this journey and stuff like that. Obviously, I didn't get to post out in the a video of what I thought. But yeah, so yeah, I just want to appreciate you. Thank you guys for everything you've done for us and the year you have given us. So we're excited to bring back a bunch of new series, old school series. I don't. We'll see when that video comes out, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I got nothing but to say. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you know when we upload. Comment down below how your New Year's was, how we can improve for this up and coming year, and yeah, follow our socials down below. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next.
Bye-bye.
Peace.